Hello, I'm Mike Hendrickson from O'Reilly Media. Today I'm going to be talking with Schlomo Shapiro from Immobilien Scout 24 for our Velocity podcast series. Today's conversation is going to center mostly around building a continuous delivery platform. Schlomo, welcome.
Hi.
So, I met you first in Santa Clara at Velocity in Santa Clara, then again in Berlin last fall. Can you tell me and others a little bit about your professional life and a little bit about Immobilien Scout 24?
Of course, Immobilien Scout 24 is Germany's leading real estate listing portal, similar to Trulia and others in the United States. And we kind of represent the German real estate market. We have 5 million unique visitors per month, and we run a fairly large platform entirely based on Linux. Our application stack consists of standard open source tools like Java, Tomcat, PHP, and so on, and of course Oracle in the backend. And we're currently moving towards a very agile development and operations model, which brought us also to continuous delivery.
So you and your colleague, Ingmar Krusch, have been talking at Velocity about continuous delivery platform. Can you go into that a little bit more deeply here about what is a continuous delivery platform? What does it look like?
Yes, traditional enterprise businesses like banks, they tend to have a very stable orientated development and operational philosophy, like release once a year and keep it running as long as it runs, but keep buying old hardware to support that and so on. Back then, when Immobilien Scout was young, we also had a very similar model, and we were releasing every couple of weeks or months. But recently, as the internet actually keeps speeding up, we also have to become faster in our development cycle. So we started squeezing our release cycles, and now we're down to releasing our entire software once every week. And our target is, of course, releasing at least once a day or even more often, and also decoupling the release cycles of different parts of our platform. All this can be put into, let's say, one framework, which we call continuous delivery, where the idea is simply to go from having one big major change now and then to having lots of little, maybe independent, also much less risky changes, but much more often. The idea is the smaller the change, the less the risk, the less troubleshooting involved. And then you slowly get into a process where you have lots of little changes where each change in itself is actually really harmless and doesn't do much. But all the little changes together actually bring you forward much faster than having big jumps now and then.
So the term DevOps, how is that going to help someone who's trying to achieve a continuous delivery platform? I mean, is there something they can do to help drive success on a continuous delivery platform?
Well, DevOps is actually something more like a buzzword, and the buzzword helps to convince people, like all buzzwords. It's something that managers can understand, that everybody can understand. It's like a flag that people can unite under. And the thing behind that is, of course, working together more closely. If you speed up the development cycle, you really have to work closely together. There's no more space and no more time for having departments and departmental conflicts and lengthy processes and writing release notes, reading release notes, doing mistakes in implementing release notes, and so on. Just no time for that. So we have to work together very closely, and the way how we do that is we call it DevOps, and then everybody thinks it's cool.
So when they work closely together and the DevOps is working, continuous platforms working, how do you demonstrate the business value to the product owners and the company stakeholders that this is something that they should invest in and do? I mean, how do you convince people that this is working and doing the right thing?
Very simple. You should have success. So you start from a smaller project, which is maybe not suffering from the main focus of attention, and you do it the new way. You convince everybody, let's try something new, let's see how it works. And then, of course, you manage to have great success, which surpasses all expectations. For example, you manage to bring a new system up and running in 2, 3, 4 days instead of 2 months, which might be the usual before. And then everybody sees the benefit of working together. And if you attach the DevOps word to that beforehand, from then on, you'll be allowed to do DevOps everywhere.
Yep. So, something that I've been talking a little bit about with other people, and yesterday with Tim O'Reilly, is the idea, the notion of a stack. If you were to start from scratch to build a high performance, continuous delivery platform, what would your stack look like?
I guess my stack would consist of really, really good engineers and a few Scrum Masters and team leads who know how to motivate people into working better together.
So a human stack.
Yes, the most important part of our business is actually the human stack and how we work together and the people who work here. Because in the end, you can use any kind of technology in a good way or in a kind of stupid way. So it's the brainware that actually counts.
Yeah, I like that idea when we're trying to, I guess, construct these different stacks. Probably one of the most, as you're saying, the most important one is the human stack, the piece that interoperates with all the other pieces of the stack. So
right.
That's good. That's going to open my thinking.
I'll be also happy to answer the technical question.
So, the human stack goes right along with the organizational stack.
Right.
Are there going to have to be changes in an organization to
Yes.
truly achieve a continuous delivery platform?
Yes, actually management has to build up much more trust into the workforce and give away much more of perceived responsibility, which they maybe never had but thought they had, but actually they now have to give it away and feel that they give it away. And as much as management is ready to come along for the change, that's how much you will have success with DevOps or with building any kind of agile environment. Because agile actually means power to the teams. And if the power goes to the teams, you take power away from the people who are on top of the teams.
Exactly. So one thing now, we sidestepped a little bit on the stack when we talked about the human stack, which I totally agree with. But let's say you have that human stack and you've got great engineers, great DevOps, you've got a performance engineer even in the team as well. What do you think their stack along with you would look like, the physical, technical stack?
Okay, well, I would of course recommend Linux as I'm an open source evangelist. And I would also recommend going with all the other really good open source tools on the market.
Mm-hmm.
And the main aspect of the stack should be close collaboration, meaning don't start splitting your teams into dev and ops teams. Have it more like flavors. Specialists for one kind of other or the other kind of stuff should work together and usually they do well because they respect each other's proficiency and they know that the other guy is also very skilled in what he's doing. But in the end, all the tools have to be shared because only from shared code, shared tools, and close collaboration, you'll actually get shared responsibility. And shared responsibility is a key component in preventing classical enterprise-style operations.
Excellent. So an open source stack basically is the way you would go?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, what we're doing at Immobilienscout24 is we decided to use Linux to the full maximum of its ability, including the already available software management tools built in. So for us, we're using a Red Hat-based distribution which uses RPM packages. We just said, well, it's very simple. 99% of all files on any given server are already delivered through RPM packages. Let's take a little effort upon ourselves and increase that number to 100%. And as it turns out, this makes our life very, very simple. Because now we have a unified view on all our servers, which is called RPM. And there's nothing that can go wrong unintentionally, because either it works or RPM tells us this won't work, I won't do it. And we can also very easily validate and verify our platform by simply running RPM validation. So our developers create software packages, our configuration files are packaged into RPM packages and shipped onto servers. And in the server, everything comes together as one big RPM dependency tree. which tells us that everything is fine there.
So, Shlomo, are we going to see you in Santa Clara in the end of June at Velocity, and again in London for Velocity Europe in October?
Yes, tickets are already booked, the Velocity is already booked, the hotel is booked, I'm all set to go. We're actually looking forward, we'll be there with 4 colleagues all together. And we hope to meet lots of friends again, and also you guys from O'Reilly. And for the Velocity Europe, which is in October, I've heard, we already also made plans, and I hope that we will be able to participate with Immobilien Scout 24 as we participated before. But of course, details remain to be seen.
Yep. I really did enjoy Berlin. I was, a little sad that we weren't going back there, but London is also a wonderful city. So,
What
um,
can we do to lure you back to Berlin?
I don't know. It was nice. Yeah, something we should consider again, I'm sure. Shlomo,
That's
thank you
great.
for your time.